What is good, guys? It's your boy Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be doing something absolutely different. I'm going to be talking about and answering the question, when do I think Nio is going to break $100 a share? Now, I'm also going to be doing a quick technical analysis of Nio. I'm also going to talk about what the mainstream media is saying about Nio as well. But before I do that, before I do get started, I must mention two quick things. First of all, I'm not a financial, legal, or taxation expert, so not take this as financial, legal, or taxation advice. And also, if you can, please smash that like button if you want to see more videos like this on my stream, but for the entire community as a whole. With all that said and done and out of the way, guys, let's get on with the video. So looking at the 1 day, 1 minute chart, we can see that there was quite a bit of volatility for Nio in the very beginning. We saw that it dropped as low as $33 a share and reached a high of $34.16 before having this very interesting volatility as it was bouncing between levels of resistance and levels of support. And then as it normalized quite a bit, it had a bit of a downward run up to closing, and the closing area was around $33.66 a share, down 0.62% for the day. And I know it's sad that this is happening, but I must mention that Nio did nothing wrong to cause this. Okay, looking at some Bollinger Bands, there was quite a bit of significant movements on both the upside and the downside, but more towards the downside, especially towards the end. We could see that it was a little bit down here and there and here, there and there, and then it had a run up once again, but it was around the mean price for where it closed, and overall it is in the red. So it's a little bit sad to see Nio in the red, but it's a-okay, guys, because Nio is a long-term play, as you know. Looking at some RSI data real quick, there were some moments where Nio was a little bit overbought towards the upside, but overall it was a little bit down, and the RSI was below 50, meaning that it was a little bit like weak, somewhat weak, but not extremely weak. So that does mean that Nio could drop a little bit more, but I'm still very bullish for the long term. Now, it may drop tomorrow, and I do predict that tomorrow could be a red day again, but in the long term I do believe that Nio can break $100. Now, before I talk about that, let's go over what the news is saying. It was mentioned by the Monthly Fool. It talked about why are EV stocks such as Nio and Hyzen down, and what basically happened is there was good news that they had very strong pieces of data, but it was mentioned that more and more headwinds are coming, especially because of the global chip shortage and the decline of many cells. So there were some difficulties for the manufacturing side, but overall they're doing quite well. For Nio in particular, they're doing fantastic, and Nio might go down because of news regarding Evergrande, because of the overall market here and there, but those are external things. It's not Nio's fault, because Nio is amazing. It's literally doing everything right, from their Norway expansion to the ET7 Germany expansion to how they did their delivery numbers. I mean, everything for Nio is fantastic right now. Yet the share price is a little bit in the red, but it's a-okay. So it was also noted from Yahoo Finance that Cathie Wood dumped $270 million in Tesla and three cheap EV stocks to buy instead. So this is trying to make it seem like Cathie Wood bought three other EV stocks, which is not true. But she did dump a little bit of Tesla, and that does not mean that I'm bashing Tesla. That does not mean Tesla's bad. Tesla's amazing. It's phenomenal. But remember, Cathie Wood wants to diversify, especially right now, and she's not going to hold on to a single share for the rest of her life or forever. So she did sell a little bit of Tesla for her ARK position, and she did end up wanting to invest a little bit into other, sectors. So do not look at this as a bad sign. She's still very bullish for Tesla. She still likes Tesla and all that. But they did mention on Yahoo Finance that there are three companies that are, alternatives to Tesla, and one of them they mentioned is Nio. They called it the Tesla of China. It's a huge name for the US equity investors. And they did talk about how the shares rose from $4 to over 48 a piece in 2020, a gain of 1,100%, and how it began to surge well over $60 in January. And it is talking about how Nio has insane growth potential, which is why it's a buy, according to these analysts from Yahoo Finance. So all I'm trying to say is that Nio is getting more mainstream adoption and exposure, which is absolutely fantastic for the company. It was also mentioned on Investor Place that Nio stock looks great on the strength of this Norway SUV push. That is correct, as Nio is getting ready to push their SUV and sell them in other countries such as European countries, I mean, and that's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, as Nio gets involved in Norway and Germany. So that's a sign that Nio is going to spread like crazy. And when they actually begin to sell in Norway, when they begin to sell in Germany by 2022, I believe the share price is going to explode. I mean it. And I am just lost when I think about Nio. They're literally blowing me away with what they're doing. They're literally a 7-year-old EV company that's already expanding to Europe. I mean, look at their delivery data. 24,000 vehicles in 3 months delivered. That's insane. A 100.2% year-over-year increase. So when it comes to Nio, they're making fantastic moves, guys. The fundamentals are there. Their customer service is phenomenal. Their use of real estate and NAMI as well. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Their AI that has cameras all over the car. Everything that this company is doing is fantastic. So the question is, what's going to happen to it in terms of its share price? And this is where I'm going to talk about the $100. I personally think that Nio is going to trade sideways for the next month. I also think that leading up to Nio Day next year, they're going to have a big announcement for the European expansion. I think that's going to be the big thing coming up in January 2021. As you guys know, January is towards the start of Nio Day. Nio Day is going to be huge. So when Nio Day comes, I think they're going to have big announcements. And I do think that the share price is going to explode. Let's bring up the 1 year, 1 day chart. And we can see that right over here. I do think that we should see Nio back to the 60s, at least somewhere around there when Nio Day comes. Then it might drop a little bit and it'll slowly begin to climb up and up and up and up. And it might be a little bit tricky to see it right now. I did just change the chart so you could see 100. I do see Nio coming this high by the end of 2022. Now you might think, wait a minute, I have to wait another year to see Nio hit 100. Well, guys, a year is a relatively short period of time, and I'm predicting that Nio could triple within a year from now. I do think it's going to happen, but I want you guys to know that it's going to take time and it's going to require patience. I do think by the end of 2022, Nio should be close to 100, if not at 100. And the reason I say that is it could have very explosive levels of growth. I mean, over a couple of months, we saw it go from 12 all the way up to 50. And we've seen Nio at the $66 mark, but do not look at the trend from this past year because we could see that this is when everything was good for Nio. It goes up to 66. Then we have the horrible things that happened, such as the March crash, the global chip shortage, the factory burning down. All the things happened this year. And this was a slow year for the entire EV companies. Even Tesla is down compared to how high it was in the very beginning of this year. So I think that 2022 is going to be a fantastic year. And I think 2023 will be an even better year for both Nio and Tesla and the EV companies. And I think that's when we're going to see the run that we have been anticipating. That's when Nio is going to beat 80 and maybe hit 100 by the end of 2022. That is what I believe is going to happen. I'm very confident in my conviction and my moves. And I want you guys to know that it's simply a game of patience. With that said and done, guys, Nio has great fundamentals. They've done almost everything right, and it's just a matter of time before we really get to see how amazing Nio is. So thank you for listening, guys. I really hope you have a great rest of the day, and I'll definitely see you on the next video. Stay strong and never ever give up on your dreams. Thank you once again, and peace out.